Hello everyone. To anybody straight away when you read this is very worrying. And it is really, really worrying. The next generation. It's very, very worrying to hear and to see, when you see it in young people nowadays too, that a lot of them feel very disheartened. And it's the word I would use, disheartened about life. There's not, when I was growing up, the world was, pretty much a big game and stuff, and you enjoyed your life and stuff. Things were difficult, when I grew up too, but obviously, just going by even they saying this in 1998, children the same age and stuff felt a lot more happier in life and a lot more meaning, I suppose, in life. Nowadays, feel quite low. Just take for example, it's 46%, nearly 50, you could say nearly 50% of the school children age in this country feel quite low. What they mean by this is more or less saying they feel very dissatisfied in life. And that's a very sad thing to say, really, really is, when you hear that so many young people, and the way they're saying it, they don't want to outright say it is dissatisfaction in life, because it's a horrible thing to have to say, particularly for such young children who have the whole life ahead of them, could be anything. And again, as I say, 25 years is quite a difference. It wasn't even nearly half as that. But there's many different things to this, but I do think this is very worrying for any society, any sane society. It is very worrying to see this for young people. But not only that too, and a lot of young people, a lot of children particularly, when they see their parents and their grandparents worrying about paying the bills and stuff like that, it does kind of go on to them a bit too. Because they see that the parents are struggling to pay the bills or struggling to keep a roof over their head. It does add on to the children too. And not to mention too, there's so many children suffering, not getting any food and suffering austerity pretty much from their parents, in terms they can't afford to pay for food, they can't afford to pay for housing, they can't afford it. And a lot of children see that and they don't really have much hope for the future, and it's really, really sad, and it's sad to say that but it's the truth, and we can't live in denial, because it is the truth that so many young people in this country that have the whole of futures ahead of them should be looking forward to many things to come in life, many great things to come in life. A lot of them feel very low and feel let down and feel resentful, I suppose, and don't feel hopeful that tomorrow will be a better day. And it's such a sad thing to see such young people feel like that, and it's not a good feeling for young people to have, of course, because the world is like an evil place. There's evil in the world, but there's so much good in the world too. And it's about making sure that young people see that good in the world, that they can do good in the world, and they can make a difference. But it's a sad reality that the world has gone the opposite way. And things don't make any sense, things don't make any logic, and there's no meaning. Things that years ago existed, nowadays social media, it's kind of like a different reality, and it's to do with social media too, in a way too. Kids are spending too much time on social media. It's like their own reality, but it is in our reality, if that makes sense. This is their own kind of distant reality. They're kind of distant from our reality in another dimension, you may use too, and obviously really takes you away from living life, living the moment, living the minute by minute, if that makes any sense. And again, a lot of things on social media too, it's very sad, it's very gruesome, some stuff, and for young minds too, it doesn't give you much hope, especially when you see all the conflicts in our world at the moment, across the Middle East, in Europe, in Ukraine, in Myanmar, in South Sudan. Evil things, tortures, killing, and it's atrocious to see the world like that, and it's particularly young people. It's atrocious, and I do feel very bad for so many kids, because again, I hope this is not the first that I've seen it true when I was at school too, that a lot of people don't have much optimistic for the future, and it's such a sad thing. People even secondary school, not even 15, 16 when I was at school, 17, not many of them had high hopes. We could do anything, and the sky was the limit. It's a sad thing to say, but the thing about it is, and this is the thing, that you shouldn't give up hope. You really, really shouldn't give up hope, because it is very, very worrying. Not to mention too, just smoking and drinking and stuff, it's gone up immensely compared to what it was years ago, of course too. But there's many other issues we could talk about till the cows come home. But a lot of children nowadays, compared to years ago, the good thing is, and I would say a lot of them do talk to the parents compared to years ago. But it is it is very worrying. Like, it is really, really worrying. But as a society too, we should be taking note of this, because it's very important that our young people feel happy growing up. Because again, life is a gift, and the way I see it, life is a gift. We're only here for a certain. We're only really here on a holiday. We don't know when that holiday will end. But the thing about it is, when you're young, you should enjoy it, because they're the best years of your life. And it's in regards to the state, and even as citizens of adults at our age, in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s, in our 50s, in our 60s, 70s, we owe it to the kids of this generation, our country, to make sure they live in a country that is the best they can be for them, that they can achieve what they want to achieve. But it's unfortunate that our government just doesn't give a shit about Irish children. They want them to be sent away to other countries. They couldn't care less. And we live in an evil time, I suppose, in that way. That we have enemies literally within our own government that don't care about this. Because any reasonable government straight away would be taking action, would be trying to try and make young people happier. Community stuff in communities, community amenities for people to go and socialise after school and stuff. That's non-existent in a lot of places. There's many other things we could talk about, but it is literally a very sad thing to see. But we have to look at this. Obviously, we could talk about many other things, but obviously, drinking, just touching on this, drinking and drugs too is a lot prevalent now than what it was even 35 years ago, to believe. But at the same time too, we have to tell to young people that it is bad. It's not cool. Nowadays it's deemed as cool for taking e-cigarettes and stuff, and it's not good for you. It's not good for your health. And of course, as a Calvin person, I would say save the money and treat yourself to something nice later on. Go on a holiday. Maybe even if you save up a good bit, buy a car. You'll not be able to buy a house, unfortunately, but treat yourself to something nice. A day out. You go to another city and have a look around. But it is a very worrying sign. It is really, really worrying. It's sad to see. It really, really is sad to see. Because these are the next generation again. They should be enjoying their lives, and it's a sad thing to see that so many young people feel very let down in society, feel very upset, and feel very, I suppose we would say, disheartened. That's the word I would generally use to describe, instead of feeling low. That's such a thing to say, OT. But again, they're trying to not use language that would make people actually say, what the fuck is going on in that country? Excuse my language. But that's what OT are trying to do here, trying to narrow it down, trying to make it feel like, it's not that big of a deal. But it is a big of a deal, like it really, really is. When we see this, it's a very worrying sign. It's a very worrying sign for the next generation. And this is the worrying thing, that the next generation after that, is going to get worse. It's not going to get any better, unfortunately. But it's only if we act, if we stand here on our hands, nothing's going to change. But we owe it to these kids. We owe it to them that they live in the best possible country we can make it. We don't owe it to ourselves, people even in our 20s now, in our 30s. We don't owe it to ourselves that our childhood is gone. We're in our late teens now. But we owe it to these children that they be looked after and they have a good childhood and had the childhood that we had too. But unfortunately, in a lot of realities, that's gone, long gone. But we should fight for it, because if we don't fight for it, we could lose everything, pretty much, in terms of young people not having any satisfaction, any drive to go forward. I think it's really, really important that we do this for our children. It's not for ourselves, it's for the children. Because they are the next generation, and we owe it to them that they feel as happy and as motivated as possible to face the challenges of the future. But unfortunately, that's not there nowadays. But let me know what you think. Subscribe for more, and bye.